Tears of the Kingdom will likely be the game of the year for many Switch users and gamers in general. As a sequel to Breath of the Wild, it has some pretty great shoes to fill, and so many people are universally agreeing that this game is going to be amazing. While I do agree, I think that the theories and expectations of this game are far from what the game is actually going to be like. There are so many things that I think will differ from what you think about the game, and now that we are in the year of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I think that now is the perfect time for me to lay what I think this game is going to be like down on the table. Let's get started. The first major belief about the game that I disagree with is that Ganondorf will be the main villain of Tears of the Kingdom. People think that what we see in this trailer is Ganondorf, and I do agree, but I disagree with the fact that Ganondorf is going to be the main villain of Tears of the Kingdom. I actually think that Ganondorf is going to be a main villain of Tears of the Kingdom. Let me explain. With so many links to Skyward Sword that we've seen, I think that some characters from Skyward Sword will return. In particular, the main villain from Skyward Sword, Girahim. I mean, think about it. Why would Nintendo do the exact same thing they did in the last game with Ganon as the main villain? Why not try something new that we've never seen in any Zelda game before? Why don't multiple villains team up? Just a game theory though, just what I think. Okay, future me here just for a second. After the February Direct, we got a new trailer, and this voice acting sounds like it would just come from Girahim, so my theory still stands.
Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors!
Zelda will not be a main character in the game. Well, no, let me rephrase that. Of course I think Zelda's going to be a main character in the same way she was in all of the previous games. I just think that she won't feature prominently in the game, also in the same way that she was in all of the previous games. Oh, but what about the clip from when Tears of the Kingdom was first announced? Zelda was in that clip a lot. Look at the Breath of the Wild trailer. Zelda is in that trailer a ton. How much is she in that game? In the memories and at the final boss fight, that's it. These are cinematic trailers, not gameplay trailers. Speaking of gameplay trailers, why don't we take a look at the gameplay trailers for Tears of the Kingdom? Do I see Zelda in these trailers? No, not once. Case closed. Zelda will be in the beginning of the game. Something happens to her which explains her absence for the rest of the game up until the very end. As of what happens to her, I don't know. Maybe Ganon takes her after he, I'm assuming, wakes up, turns into his Ganondorf form, and he takes Zelda again and takes his castle up into the skies. Tears of the Kingdom will keep the map from Breath of the Wild. Okay, yes, maybe Hyrule will return in Tears of the Kingdom. As we see in this clip, Link is ascending to the skies from Faron. But Hyrule will not be the same as how we saw it in Breath of the Wild. We literally see Hyrule Castle begin to shoot up into the sky, and there's a massive glowing symbol here, Shadow of the Colossus style on the map. Hyrule will likely change in so many different ways too. Maybe even to an extent that Hyrule expands. Maybe we are given the option to explore high above the cliffs at the edge of the map. We will be returning to Hyrule, but it will never be the same as it was in Breath of the Wild. Okay, to be honest, I can't think of anything else that I've seen frequently discussed that I disagree with. So let me tell you some things that I personally think will happen with Tears of the Kingdom that I haven't seen anyone else discuss at all. But before I get into that, I need to ask you all something that I've never asked you in any of my videos before. Subscribe. Please man, it seriously helps a lot and it would mean the world. Let's continue. Tears of the Kingdom will be the last Breath of the Wild game. I've not seen anybody talk about what they think is going to come after Tears of the Kingdom, but yeah, that's what I think. I mean, it just makes sense. Like, Tears of the Kingdom is probably going to be the last Zelda game on the Switch. There's usually a 6-year gap between consoles, and the Switch was released in 2017, and now it's 2023. So it makes sense to have purely Breath of the Wild games on Switch apart from these three. But they're all remakes or remasters anyway, so it doesn't count. Also, isn't it better to have something trilogy instead of something awkward like a tetralogy? Yeah, that's actually what it's called, I had to Google it. Tears of the Kingdom will be worse than Breath of the Wild. Okay, so I actually don't have any reason to think this whatsoever, but I just have a feeling, a very bad feeling that this game is going to disappoint so many people for literally no reason. Hopefully not, but I literally just have a feeling. This game is definitely going to sell like absolute crazy and only ever go up in value. It's going to sell out in 2 hours and it's going to be the worst game launch of all time and absolutely everyone is going to have to buy it digitally. Finding a physical copy of this game is going to be the equivalent of finding a PS5 in 2020. Alright, that is all for today. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you all next time.